Despite the fact that the voice is renowned for its great talent and emotionally charged performances, every once in a while a competitor will take the stage and make the entire room pause in astonishment. This will be a performance that is so unfiltered and eerie that it will stay in your mind long after the song has finished playing. During the blind auditions that took place during season 27, that participant was Brook Wood. By delivering a rendition of JoJo's Save Me that was both emotionally gripping and spine-tingling, Brook was able to capture both the coaches and the audience. This demonstrated that her voice is exceptionally powerful and distinctive. Brook Wood, a singer from Nashville, Tennessee, who is 23 years old, went onto the stage with an air of quiet confidence that hinted at something more profound. She was ready to communicate something that was deep within her with the rest of the world. There was a distinct sense of expectancy in the air as the lights began to dim and the music began to play. Since Save Me is a song that is well known for its emotional vulnerability, it was the ideal choice for Brook to demonstrate her singing talent. It was immediately apparent that Brook was about to go on a voyage that would leave everyone with a lasting impression from the very first note. The room was filled with the eerie piano introduction to the song, and Brook's voice, which was kind and sensitive, had begun to reverberate across the area. Her voice had a particular delicate fragility about it from the very first phrase, like a whisper on the wind. It was fragile, but it was also capable of crushing your heart. The words, which talk of longing, regret, and the desperate wish to be saved from the anguish of a broken love, were brilliantly supported by her voice, which had an inherent sorrow that was perfectly suited to the lyrics. Not only did Brook have a beautiful voice, but you could also hear the real emotion that she poured into every syllable. This was what made her stand out. It wasn't enough for her to sing Save Me, she actually lived it. Each note had the impression that it had been sent directly from the depths of her soul, leaving her vulnerable and exposed. There was an immediate emotional effect brought about by the manner in which she delivered the first verse, which included the appropriate amount of quiver in her voice. During her performance, the audience was able to sense the desperation that she was feeling, and it wasn't long until the coaches were on the tip of their seats, ready to gain more information. I was completely captivated by Brook's ability to switch from gentle, delicate phrases and forceful, soaring notes. It was quite remarkable. It was her vocal delivery that improved as the song progressed. With a seamless transition, she went from whispers to bigger, stronger belts, with each note appearing to carry the weight of the entire song's emotional content. Her vocal control was excellent, which enabled her to produce moments of tension and release that were a perfect reflection of the lyrics of the song. Particularly remarkable was the build-up to the chorus, which consisted of Brook's voice gradually gaining strength and wrapping itself around the melody like a great emotional force. It was as if a dam had burst as she finally let her voice soar in the final chorus. All of the emotion that had been silently simmering beneath the surface now surged, engulfing the room with a wave of intensity and raw strength. It was as if a dam had been broken. A high note was reached by Brook at a certain point in time, and her voice remained steady and true throughout the entire performance. The space was filled with such beauty that it was almost otherworldly. It was at this very moment that the coaches started to comprehend the extraordinary qualities that Brook possessed. She was not merely another contestant, rather, she was an artist, someone who knew how to transmit emotion with each and every note, and someone who had the ability to transform a simple song into an experience that was profoundly personal and transforming. The crowd was holding their breath, almost scared to break the spell that Brook had formed, as the final note of Save Me hung in the air. There was a long moment of quiet during this time. After then, the applause began to follow, and it was slow and reluctant at first. It seemed as though everyone was still trying to grasp the utter beauty and intensity of what they had just watched. On the other hand, as the levels of acclaim increased in volume and enthusiasm, it became abundantly evident that Brook had presented something that was genuinely amazing. Her performance left the coaches obviously moved, and each of them was anxious to express their admiration for her outstanding performance. The first person to turn his chair was Michael Bublé, who wore a smile that conveyed both real astonishment and appreciation on his face. It was with a voice brimming with emotion that he addressed Brook, saying, "That was absolutely incredible. The force that lies behind your voice is very remarkable, despite the fact that it is so delicate and one of a kind. You seized control of that tune and transformed it into something wholly unique to you. It would be my pleasure to assist you in realizing the full potential of that voice. In the following moment, Adam Levine, who is well known for his gregarious and forthright personality, was unable to conceal his emotions. "Wow! I couldn't believe what I was seeing," he exclaimed, his eyes widened in awe. "Because of the remarkable depth and control that your voice possesses. Despite the fact that you went from being weak and delicate to being full-fledged, you never lost your beauty. This was something that was genuinely remarkable. It would be a pleasure to collaborate with you." Following him was John Legend, who is known for his ability to deliver performances that are both soulful and sincere. He remarked, "Brook, that was an absolutely incredible performance. There is a great deal of warmth and soul in your voice. You contributed a lot of feeling to that song, and I believe that we might create something truly remarkable together if we work together. Working with you would be a privilege for me." The country pop singer Kelsey Ballerini, who has a natural ability to connect with her artists, finally turned her chair around with a wide smile on her face. An expression of awe could be heard in her voice as she replied, "Brook, I'm honestly speechless. The performance that you gave was filled with a great deal of sincerity and emotion. Your voice is fantastic, and I have no doubt that by working together, we might create something truly remarkable. You would be an incredible asset to my team." Brook was silent for a brief period of time as she processed the immense accolades that she received from the coaches. By now, it was quite evident that she had just delivered one of the most memorable performances of the season. A grin appeared on her face as she made her choice after a brief period of introspective contemplation. "My decision is going to be John Legend," she remarked, her tone tranquil but brimming with excitement. As soon as John Legend stepped up, the audience exploded in cheers and his face broke into a broad smile. "Brook, I couldn't be more thrilled to collaborate with you," he added. "There is something quite remarkable about your voice, and I can't wait to assist you in developing it even further." As soon as Brook sat down on John's team, the enthusiasm that was there in the room became clearly noticeable. She had taken a courageous decision, and it was obvious that her journey on The Voice was only getting started. Given that John Legend was serving as her guide, it was not difficult to believe that this exceptionally brilliant artist had a great future ahead of her. During the blind auditions for Season 27 of The Voice, Brook Wood's rendition of "Save Me" was a moment that completely altered the entire competition. It was her voice, with its eerie beauty and emotional depth, that distinguished her as one of the most promising contenders of the season. It wasn't only the technical precision of her voice that made her stand out. It was the way that she connected with the song on a profoundly personal level, which transformed it into something that is absolutely unforgettable. Despite the fact that it is impossible to predict how far Brook will go in the competition with John Legend as her mentor, there is one thing that can be said with absolute certainty. Her voice is one that will leave an indelible mark on the hearts of anybody who hears it. As Brook's journey on The Voice continues to develop, one thing is becoming abundantly clear. Her eerie rendition of "Save Me" was merely the beginning of her journey, and the sky is the limit for this remarkable young musician.